friends, welcome back to Mimi's Mixed Bag. I am actually on vacation this week, but I did want to wait 2 weeks to post a video. This will be my only project this week, and I hope you like it. I was putting up my Valentine's decor a couple weeks ago, and I came across this project that I did, I don't know, a couple years ago. It was actually a Dollar Tree picture frame, and if I'm not mistaken, you know, I think Dollar Tree still has this triple picture frame. I actually printed some Valentine graphics on some music paper and just put it in the frame, embellished it with a bow, and then wrapped the frame in burlap. This was such a cute idea that I wanted to do one in a spring theme. I don't know about your thrift stores, but I can find these kind of collage picture frames all the time at thrift stores. You may pay $1 or $2 for it. They are usually easily found at thrift stores. But if you can't, be sure and check your Dollar Tree for the triple frame. Now, if you don't have a paper stash, I just want to give you some ideas. You know, a good way to collect some music paper is just to buy like a 50-cent piano book. That way you have some full sheets that you can cut down 8.5 by 11 that will fit in your printer. But that way you can get several sheets for less than $1. Hobby Lobby and Michael sells all kinds of book print, music print. You can get a whole sheet for less than 50 cents that would probably do your project. Now what I did is I just Googled gray buffalo plaid and came up with this right here, and I just screenshot it and printed it. So that is certainly a way to get some buffalo plaid paper with no money out of your pocket. But these two ways right here are a good way if you don't have a printer. I just went also and I Googled spring silhouettes. That's the same thing I did for this Valentine graphic. Millions of results come up, and I just tried to pick 5 of the simplest that you could actually just trace and color with a Sharpie marker, or like I'm going to do, after I print my buffalo plaid paper, I'm going to put my paper back in the printer and then just print these silhouettes on the paper, and it will just do the work for me. And then all I have to do is cut it out that'll fit into the little picture frame mat. Let's go ahead and get my picture frame ready, and I'm going to take all this out and I'm going to paint my wooden frame a gray color. I didn't bring my paint down here, but it's the apple barrel pewter gray. All right, while my picture frame is drying, I thought I would just give you a couple tips if you're wanting to print your own buffalo plaid paper. All right, I Googled gray buffalo plaid. It took me to spoonflower.com. I actually did a screenshot of that gray buffalo plaid and saved it as a JPEG to my desktop. And I was able to drag the JPEG over to just my blank piece of paper. This is where I'm going to go ahead and print my 4 or 5 sheets first, because a lot of the graphics that you Google and try to find, it will not allow you to drag them over. And if it does allow you to drag them over, you're going to have a big white box. I just Googled simple spring silhouettes. You get all kinds of things. And these are the 5 that I picked. You can't just drag that bird over there. They actually have a white frame around them like that birdhouse I just showed you, but being white on white, it doesn't show up. Remember that I already have my paper printed, and I'm putting this back into the printer. All right, and then I'm going to just copy and paste my bird over to a blank piece of paper, and it will show up. And then that's when I'm just going to print it, and it will print on my buffalo plaid paper. Okay, just want to show you that I got all my paper printed and my graphics on there, and I want to definitely say that I'm by no means a computer guru. The steps that I showed you may or may not help you, and you may not even come across a problem like that. Where I made it harder on myself is trying to print the paper and apply the graphic on top. And things are just formatted different when you're working directly from the internet. It certainly would be easier just to print on your desired paper, or even just trace these simple shapes. Whatever works for you, but there's always more than one way to do something. My little cream and gold paper frame that was in the picture frame, and I'm going to flip it over. You may not realize that all those little cardstock mats that are in those picture frames are usually just solid white on the back, and that's the look that I'm going for. So now I'm going to just center it up on my little pictures, and then just make sure that when I trim my paper that it's bigger than the hole so that it will fit behind the mat nicely. Alright, one of the finishing embellishments on my frame is going to be just a little shabby bow, and you can see what I got here, a pile of hodgepodge, about 10 different types of ribbon, all different spring colors, any kind of springy color I could find, and I'm going to cut about 10 pieces 6 to 7 inches long. All you're doing is crisscrossing these ribbons in an X pattern to create the bow. The only real rule I have is that you really want to size these ribbons up largest to smallest, because if you end up putting this wide piece over these narrow pieces, it kind of covers them up. So I do layer it, you know, wide to thinner. I like to start these bows off usually with a base of a burlap. You don't have to though. I've made them all kinds. And then I just start crisscrossing left to right all the way. And like I said, I've got 2 different color greens here. I usually will put those a few ribbons apart just so it's not too much green in one spot. And anything goes. Trim, burlap strings, wired, not wired. Because once you get it all bunched up, it'll all be showing. Alright, so now I've got all of them together. I've got just a piece of jute twine here. I'm going to scrunch it in the center and tie it in a double knot. And so I took the tails of the jute twine and just tied them in a bow. I can use the bow either way, and it's just a great way to use up your scraps and just makes an adorable embellishment. Alright, the last thing I need to do is go ahead and put my picture frame back together. I just did one thin coat of the gray pewter apple barrel on the frame, and it's exactly the look I wanted. So I'm going to put it all together, hot glue my bow on top, and show you my finished project. Alright friends, I have it hanging in a little narrow spot that I have on my kitchen wall. It turned out so cute, and to be honest with you, it didn't even need the bow. It was so cute just plain. So I just encourage you not to overlook those outdated looking collage picture frames, and you can make something like this yourself. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you when I get back next week. Bye bye.